Hey, welcome to the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Controversy, and to my right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Mr.
Darren Love. He always laughs every time I do that.
Together,
he laughs every time.
we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys for tuning in to another episode. Thank you for tuning in again this week. And all we ask is that, as always, if you're new to the content and you like the content, please share the content and please like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, if you guys got any thoughts or anything you want to say to us guys, in regards to our content or the podcast, just please leave a comment down below and we can respond to you guys, or we can correspond or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? So thank you for staying tuned to another episode. Thank you for coming back and coming back to the channel once again and watching the new content.
I hope you're gonna enjoy it.
And that's it. We hope you guys are gonna enjoy this week's episode as per usual. And yeah, so what is on the agenda for today, mate? What is today's hot topic?
Let's talk about emotional intelligence, because I think that's quite an interesting subject for everyone.
So we're talking about what today?
Emotional intelligence, like
emotional intelligence.
Like all our emotions, anger, hate, and all that sort of stuff, and happiness, and like when people go and watch a movie, and they're sitting down watching the movie, like might be a horror film or something with a bit of comedy in it, or whatever. Sometimes, and they sort of go, oh, a bit because it's scared and whatever. And next minute they're happy and laughing. Do you know what I mean? Next minute they're scared again. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like that, like movies. They can control your emotions sometimes.
Yeah.
And people need to learn how to control their emotions.
That's it. Big facts.
And it's a very...
You got to learn to control your emotions.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think if you do get control of them all, and that's including anger.
Yeah.
You're going to start enjoying life.
Mhm. Mhm. That's it.
Because if you can control your emotions in a kind of way, you can go a long way.
Most definitely. Yeah.
I mean, like some people get upset for no reason, don't they? They start crying all of a sudden because you've said something, Or some people get scared of a spider quite quickly, and other people don't, Some people love spiders. Do you know what I mean? Like myself, I love them.
Yeah.
I look at spiders, like butterflies. This is what I told my daughter once when she was little.
Yeah.
She used to call up, scream upstairs. I was
Spider.
running upstairs, there's a spider under the bed,
Yeah.
And I'd climb, get it on a bit of paper, whatever, and put it out the window, whatever. And I said, look, these spiders are not, they used to be butterflies and their wings fell off.
Yeah.
They really basically taught her that they're not horrible, ugly creatures that you should tread on, because they're not. They are quite, they're no different to butterflies, really, only because butterflies got pretty wings. I mean, if let's say a butterfly lost its wings, it'd look like a spider. No different, and you'd probably be scared of it if it did have no butterfly wings, if you see what I mean. So, that's quite interesting where, like children, they can get quite upset. They got no control on their emotions, do you know what I mean, at all, have they? And, like a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, one minute they're crying and the next minute they're happy and next minute they're crying again, do you know what I mean?
Well, the older you get, from a young age, the more emotional, intelligent you should become.
Yeah, of course. It takes time.
It takes time. It's a
time
process and a journey.
It's taken me a long time to...
But not everyone gets there though, mate, unfortunately. Not everyone... Some people go through their whole life and still don't figure out that concept of you have to have emotional intelligence. You have to learn to control your emotions. You have to learn how to respond positively and appropriately to to your emotions, your feelings. Yeah, some people react out of inputs. A lot of people today, you know what I mean, especially younger people, because I was kind of like that when I was younger, you know, to be honest, you know, a lot of younger people react very impulsively, if you see what I mean. They do shit before they actually think about all the consequences that are going to come along with whatever they done, if you see what I mean, you know. And so I think that's very important. You've got to think about the consequences and ramifications and all the other shit that comes along with the decisions that you make in life. Yeah, we all have decisions to make in our lives every single day, and all of those decisions have a knock-on effect, like a domino effect, for the present moment going into the future. If you see what I mean, you know, the decision you make tomorrow could negatively impact your life for the next 30 years, 40 years. You might do something very stupid, regrettably, and get locked up for 25 to 30, 40 years, you know what I mean? And be lucky if you get out of prison and you're kind of like, you know, an older person, if you see what I mean, you know? So yeah, it's all about, you know, emotional intelligence. It's very, very necessary, you know. It's one of these things that we all have to learn to grow and develop and learn to mature as we get older, you know what I mean, and learn and be more in tune with ourselves and more in tune with our emotions and our feelings, so that we can be in better control of those things, you know, so you can be more emotionally intelligent. You know?
I think you've got to be intelligent to be emotional intelligent, of course. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's no good not having. If you're not intelligent, you can't do it. And that's that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I say there's some people that aren't intelligent at all.
Yeah.
You know, they're just waking up, watching television every day, and living in that world, if you know what I mean, and thinking that's that the world that was given to them in a kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
And do the same thing every day, you know. And some people grow up faster than others, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Some children actually get emotional intelligence at an early age, you know. You know, and some people get old and they never grow up.
Yeah.
You know, they never got control of their emotions in a kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
It's a gift, I suppose, isn't it? You've got to get hold of them. You know, you need to sort of control when you cry.
Yeah.
Control when, you know, just control them all. If you don't control them, they'll control you, won't they?
That's it, and you know, you start to make bad decisions.
Your fear will overrun your life, whatever, yeah. And you can't, you know, you just can't be, you know, focus on the moment, all right, and you can't control your emotions. You know, you just got to be with the moment and control the emotions that you've got around you. You know, all of them.
Definitely.
Whether it's hate, anger, jealous, or whatever it is, all those emotions.
Yeah.
Love, every one of them. You know.
Yeah.
You know, even love itself. You know, that's an interesting one. You know, love.
Yeah.
You know, what is love? You know. You know it's an interesting question, isn't it? What is love?
Yeah.
You know.
In the famous words of Buju Banton, you know, you ever heard of Buju Banton?
No.
He said, "I just wanna be loved.
Oh, I've heard of it now.
Not for who you think I am or what you want me to be. Real love." Huh?
Yeah.
I used to love that song because it's so true. You know.
What is love though? You know, it's like my ex.
Well, love is one of those things that means it goes back to success, like we were talking about last time in one of our previous episodes. Love is just one of those things that is an individual thing. It all means something different to every individual person. You know, we might all have a collective response to love as people. You know, how we respond to it and whatever. You know, or give love, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I think it's all an individual thing, isn't it?
I was thinking about freedom, alright? What is freedom, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking to myself, well, I'm free, alright, to hate every crocodile if I want, or every snake and every spider, yeah? Or I'm free to actually hate myself, actually, yeah? And I'm free to actually kill myself if I want to, yeah? Or I'm free to keep myself alive, yeah? If I want, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm free to love everything if I want as well. I'm free to love you, Josh. You know, do you know what I mean? I'm free to love you. You can't do nothing about it. If I love you, you can't do nothing about it. Do you know what I mean? This is what freedom is, all right. And you're free to get worried if you want. And you're free to be fear your life if you want. You know, you can fear the moment if you want. You know, freedom is up to you in a kind of way. You know, and it's your choice to enjoy the moment or fear the moment in a kind of way, or hate the moment.
Yeah.
You know, in a funny way. You know, and I think we're all free to do what we want out here. You know, but I think people are freer than they think they are. You know, I mean, they don't realise what freedom is, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I think that is freedom, really, being free to do what you want. You can free to kill yourself, free to love what you want, free to hate what you want. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
But personally, I love everything. Right? I love every bird out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's me. Right? I love every child out there. You know, and I don't really hate much out there, really. Do you know what I mean? It's apart from a little. I don't like noise.
Well, I was going to say, even the whole thing, like you're saying too, as well. I think sometimes people there's a big difference between hating something and disliking something. If you see what I mean.
Yeah. Whereas
sometimes people get those two things misconstrued. There's a big difference between like the word hate comes with such a strong connotation with it, if you see what I mean. I think sometimes people got to be careful what they say. People don't always hate things, you just dislike it.
Yeah, like I say, people use the wrong word because they don't really, you know, like, it loses the value of meaning when people use it too much. Like love, for instance, I love you, and I love that, I love this, I love that car.
Yeah.
Right? And cars should never be used, or anything, any object, anything, right? I personally don't love them because they're not living.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
an inanimate object.
Yeah. I like them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like diamonds. Yeah, and things like that. Pretty to look at, right? But I don't love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like animals, I love. You know, insects, I love and things like that. But I don't love anything.
Nature.
Yeah, that's me. All right. I love everything really in nature. That's my feeling, I think, towards everything, you know. But I personally, I don't like a lot of people don't really respect nature as much as I do. I mean, I don't like that really, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, I wouldn't cut the grass. You know, because there's a lot of insects in the grass. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think people don't really. They're unthoughtful.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like the devil's invented the lawnmower. Honestly, I do. You know, give that to them, yeah, and they can cut up all the insects. And they like the insects are disappearing today. You know, I know I say it again and again, but it is quite scary. You know, it's because we don't care about them. Everyone's stamping on them, hoovering them up.
Yeah.
You know, plugging their hoovers in and things. You know, and or stamping on them because they're scary looking, you know, or
fear.
Putting
goes back to the emotional intelligence again. People fear things.
Yeah.
And their first reaction usually is instinctive, like an instinctual reaction to kill it. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, and you know, man invents sort of slug killer. You know, like to put salt over slugs so they can die in pain.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Don't get me wrong, there is certain things that are created to protect the crops and stuff like this, which are good, you know? To protect the crops from, what's it called?
Being eaten.
Yeah.
But it's like,
and being, because obviously we rely so heavily on our food, because obviously we got this 7.8 billion people on the planet. So, you know, at the end of the day, people are still trying to protect their crops so that we can ensure that we're supplying enough food to people across the globe. You know.
I think we've got quite big farms today. You know, like.
Oh, for sure.
When I go around this country, because I have been around this country, right, I live in the UK, all over the place, right? Yeah. I can't believe actually how much countryside's here.
Yeah.
How many farms are out
there.
There's
a lot, actually.
There's so much countryside out here, right? And then they make these little towns where everyone's stuck in one place, you know.
Yeah.
And it's quite compact, like for instance London, you know, that's quite a compact place.
Yeah.
But most of Britain is all countryside, do you know what I mean? There's plenty more space to build ants' nest for people,
Yeah.
you know, or another city here or there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's all a little bit of illusion out there sometimes, things, you know, that they manipulate people to believe that there's no food out there and things, but there is plenty,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I think they just scare people all the time, you know, and actually make these things happen, you know.
Yeah.
Like the shelves are only going empty because they're sort of spreading rumours on actually doing these things. I feel, you know, and actually making them happen.
Trying to create fear.
Well, basically,
amongst
you know,
the people.
to be honest with you, basically creating disasters to make another disaster. You know, I mean, like this shutdown, for instance. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Created so many different mental health problems with different you know, some people already suffer from mental health problems. All right, then they have a shutdown. It's making it even worse because they're trying to get better in life. You know, and so it's just created so much unhappiness for one. You know, and like I say, unhappiness can be pretty dangerous, you know, because once a person gets unhappy in life, alright, they don't care about anyone.
Yeah.
And that's that, right? If they're not happy about, you know, like near suicide, yeah, and they all want to live here anymore because they've had enough, whatever, those people can become very dangerous. You know, and these are the kind of people that do these shootouts, you know what I mean? They've just completely had enough. And they don't care if they kill thousands of people before they die, you know, because somebody's ruined their life, you know. So that's what happens, you know, like a lot of people, like for instance in this country, you know, I think we're going off the subject about, you know,
emotional intelligence, yeah.
But a lot of people in this country are just getting alienated and isolated, you know, and I think not just in this country, all over.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just not fair.
Yeah.
You know, and that's causing a lot of anger, you know, and people need to be happy in life, you know, and, you know, like, not like, you know, electric going up, and all this going up, and all this going up, because it's not going to do any favours for anyone, is it?
Yeah.
You know, we're all living in the same reality.
Yeah.
That's what people got to understand. You know.
Well, I know, going back to emotional intelligence, and to me, how that corresponds to emotional intelligence, yeah, is as a human being and as an individual, if you learn to be happy and to be positive and to be driven and motivated and inspired and all these things, no matter what's going on in your life, that is real emotional intelligence, because you've learned to transcend the idea that you have to respond to a certain way to everything in life, if you see what I mean, you know. So yeah, to me, that's how that corresponds to emotional intelligence, you know. If you learn to be happy and be content and be positive, no matter what happens to you in your life, what obstacles you're facing, what you're trying to overcome, or what you're trying to achieve or manifest or whatever, if you see what I mean, you know.
That's right.
You have to have the emotional intelligence to, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you can sort of like have emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
you'll learn how to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And then I think once you learn how to enjoy the moment, you can relax and enjoy your imagination. You know, and like I say, if you've got like anything any problems that come into your life,
Yeah.
you know, like from the outside world all of a sudden, you know, and you've got to deal with it, or something makes you angry all of a sudden, you know, and you've got to deal with that, you know.
Yeah.
You won't be doing any artwork at that time, you know. You've got to have peace of mind, relax. You know, like every day, all of us, all right, we've got to get up, get ourselves something to drink, do this, do that, bit of cleaning, whatever, you know. And it's really difficult to get a little bit of time to have your own time to do what you actually want to do in life, you know, whether it's making a song or whatever, you know. But so you get up every day and keep doing things, and then you get a bit of space. It's up to you when you make that space to sit down, relax, focus, and get whatever you want done in life, you know. I actually wrote a quote today on Facebook, alright, yeah. That like I had a dream last night, yeah, yesterday, before I went to sleep, that I went for a walk down to the seaside and I built this golden castle out of sand, okay? And then I fell asleep, okay? And then I woke up in the morning and I decided to walk down to the beach and actually do it. And make my dreams come true, you know, and build a really big, beautiful castle. And I did it, you know.
Yeah.
And I saw it there, you know, and the ocean was going around it, whatever,
Mhm.
and the sun was shining on it. And then I've got that memory for tomorrow and the next day in my future.
Yeah.
You know, and I always remember the golden castle that I built.
Yeah.
You know, but you can make your dreams come true by dreaming them,
Yeah.
and the next day by doing them, and then you've got that memory for the rest of your life, people memory that you actually created, if you see what I mean. But that's just sort of demonstration of golden castle. You can create anything, whether it's an album, a bit of musical song, you know, but you've got to dream about it first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that any good?
Yeah.
I don't think that's about emotional intelligence though, is it?
No.
But I think everything really is about emotional intelligence, you know, in a kind of way. In this
Like we were saying before in our previous episode, like it's an umbrella term. You know, it encapsulates a lot of stuff. You know, there's a lot of stuff that comes under that umbrella of emotional intelligence. You know.
You know, it's like if there's 10 people in the waiting room, all right, and each one of them will have a slightly different mood, wouldn't they? A little bit, you know. It's like 9 of them might be happy and 1 of them might be angry, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We all respond differently to different things in different scenarios, in different circumstances, in different environments, in different climates, or different weather, or we all, you know, we're all different as human beings, you know, and we are all on an individual journey throughout life, trying to become, hopefully anyway, trying to become better as human beings, if you see what I mean, you know, learning to become more kind and more loving and peaceful and patient and understanding and knowledgeable and wiser and, you know, etc. You know, to me that's what life is about. Life is about understanding and evolution as a human being.
So we can pass on to the next generation.
So that you not only you learning from your mistakes as you learn and you grow and you go along, but as the older you get and the more you mature and the older you get, to me, the wiser you should become, if you see what I mean, you know, because, you know.
I mean, like a man's life, yeah. So they're born and they might live until 80, say.
Yeah.
But there's also the lifespan of man itself in a kind of way, and we're kind of learning from our mistakes as we go through time.
Yeah,
you know, in a funny way, you know.
Yeah.
And the kind of like the swirl's kind of slowly, whether it's getting better or not, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Is it getting better? Because I sort of think.
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell, mate.
I'd say it's sort of like when the world sort of like they shut down.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of people's happiness, or you know, some people might have been sort of think, right, I've got a really good idea. I'm going to do this idea. I'm going to start up this business or something, this flower business. And next minute they're shut down.
Yeah, all comes to a halt.
It all comes to a halt. And you think, oh, my dreams have been smashed.
Yeah.
You know, and some people plan weddings.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And they have to be cancelled. You know, can you imagine that?
And sometimes you don't get all back. Sometimes you don't always get back all your money either. If you see what I mean, sometimes you might get back only half of the, you know, half of the deposit, because those people might say we've already, you know.
I can imagine sort of like planning your big day, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
With all your relations, sorry.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, and that big day comes, right, and just before the